Howdy there folks, Limbo Jr. here. Today I'm going to be reviewing how I built my PA-1 inside out. This video is for if you want to help create your own trains, but I'm not going to be giving a full specific series totally dedicated onto building your own. This is only like mini behind the scenes. So first, starting off, I did have to, when building this, had to combine all the models that were created for the path train. I did have to create my own decal in Photoshop really quick, crop the white out of that and make that a transparent PNG. This caution watch the gap was created by me inside of Adobe Illustrator. These ads were random decals I did find throughout Roblox. Most of the stuff here was not easy to make. I'm just letting that know, get that clear out of the way. Let's see, these lights are surface lights, should be easy to understand. Front right here, you can see the surface light right there. If you go ahead, you right click that and then insert object and then surface light right here, and then you just make sure you're setting it to the correct one, correct direction. Make sure it's pointing the right way, like here in this perspective. The light is, this face here is considered left, and therefore the light would be shining that way. For windows, I did have to use something like this. I had to go ahead and create a cylinder thing there, and then blocks, and unionate them, and then negate them, and then I basically resized them each time specifically, and unionated it with it. For the gray doors, how I did that was I basically got a decal. If we go ahead and select that, it's basically a decal of dark gray. Hopefully that exists, otherwise this model wouldn't look like a PA-1. So it gives the illusion that the inside is dark and then the outside's white. It saves time. This part up here where it's white was entirely it wasn't planned for, but it's actually there better in the long run since it makes it look like it says do not hold doors there. These wooden textures here, it's an actual individual part that was there. These handles are very similarly made to the windows. I did have to use multiple cylinders and spheres to go ahead and weld them. This rubber here, I did keep also everything here to its correct respective material in real life, like everything here is metal. For the American flag, I just used the same one for the MTA that Arsentic built. These are very simple. You just go in and stick a cylinder inside of it. From the GUI, I will get to this later. Once again, more stuff. This was created with cylinders, etc., etc. This glass was created by setting the material of the glass in transparency down to around 0.7. and then setting the reflectance up to maximum. There is no couplers on here, but on the new models I do. I added the couplers. This is an outdated model, kind of. And that's pretty much it. Now to get into the coding review, let me go ahead and jump right in super quick. Now, if we were to get in, you can see this is purely made from scratch. Do note, none of... Okay, wait. Gotta remove that code in 1 minute. Let me get rid of this. I will explain what that means later. Let me go ahead and play this now. So if we were to, as you can see, those actually work. All this actually works. I did reverse engineer Arsentic's original models like R42 and R160 to get this to work. As you can see, the roll signs work. The World Trade Center doesn't work because Roblox has censored it for some reason. It doesn't work. Journal Square works, 33rd Street and Hoboken. All of those work, except for the World Trade Center, which I will get working on. But this is still a prototype. Out of service works.
Gentlemen, this train is being taken out of service. Please leave the train. This is the last stop on this train. Everyone please leave the train. Stand clear of the closing doors. We are now approaching the next station.
As you can see, all this this works except for the max speed. I haven't figured out how to get max speed working, but I'm pretty sure I have the code in mind how to make that work. As you can see, the brake actually works. HVAC on, and HVAC. Oh, it's the wrong one. It's HVAC, not HAVC. HAVC is a codec for videos, but I did type that wrong. But these all work. Those are the sounds from the R160s, which I am using. Do know that both of these cars work, and the system does work. If you look at the wheels, they're slightly turning. I don't have any rails at the moment, so I can't put them on just yet. You see, all of them are moving. Great speeds. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into how this was coded. It's actually not too difficult. I'm going to go ahead and explain the train welding right here. Train script. Basically, in a nutshell, it's basically navigating yourself via the command prompt. If you know how to use command prompt, this starts to get easier, or if you've coded inside of HTML and you had to navigate to that one image file, and that would be much more easier to understand. So as you can see here, a variable A has been set to means script.parent. If we were to navigate ourselves in through the Explorer, you'd see that this is the script, and then we're talking about the parent, which is here, and then you were talking about this. So basically, this variable A means train GUI command console. And once again, here's another local variable. As you can see here, train equals script, and then parent, which is navigate us here, and then another parent, which would navigate us back here, and then yeah, that basically mean the entire train. So when it's talking about parent.parent, this entire model means the entire train. So this function, in a nutshell, basically determines if a human is sitting on a vehicle seat. It checks if there's a seat weld, if it's anything on it or not, and basically if it's there, and then it opens a GUI. Go ahead and give you a minute to pause the video and take a look at it. You will need all this code to create the GUI to work. And this function says if the child is removed from the seat weld and the seat weld isn't with a player, basically it will close out the GUI and won't reopen until someone gets back on. And this is basically the stuff there. And afterwards, from here, it's a lot of coding, but it's very easy. Basically, we're back to the A command, which represents the train GUI command console. Basically, it's navigating again. So if we go A, which represents this, and then we're going main, and then buttons, and you can see stand clear of the closing doors right there. And then mouse button one click means if someone's clicking the primary left button, and then click equals connect, and then it creates a temporary function that is set there. So basically, when this if this condition is true, or if something clicks that, it will do all this. So basically, we're back to the script, which is right here, script, and then you're navigating one parent. Parent means you're moving up one, so now you're here, and then now you're going to parent again. So now you're here. Now you're going to train, which we do have a model right here, which says train. And then car A, there's the model. We're now navigating still, and basically it says navigate to front left destination 1, which we see right here, mainframe, and then stand clear of the closing doors. And when that person clicks that, you'll hear this.
Stand clear of the closing doors.
So yeah, and then you basically do this for all the announcements. Make sure you just change the name of it like this. It says stand clear of the closing doors here, and then this is last stop. Make sure you change that. Make sure you change this. Make sure you get all of the capitalization correct, because Lua is case sensitive. I did organize it a little bit. And for the GUI that you see out here, as you can see right here, it's basically modifying the surface GUI. If we were to go to front roll sign and navigate to it, text label has something here that says text. It says no packs, which means no path. This text appearance here, it's basically modified. It's basically navigating to that again. So going from script parent, and then going into the train, and then car A, which you can see we're already in, going to surface GUI, and then text label. And then when you say text label.text, the .text is referring to a property within this object, .text, and then we're setting that value to no packs. Make sure that you have these quotation marks there, which represent it's a string. nothing, and not an integer, because if you put an integer there, then it's going to screw with you. For HVAC, it's basically messing with the volume. As you can see here, the scripts, the sounds for the bogeys are right here. If you can see, there's the sound, and if you were to go ahead and go in here, you would see the idles in here. If we were to play idle, there's the R160 HAVC, and then there's the engine, the iconic OTT sounds or SUMEs that you see in Arsentic models, and the brake sound. Alright, so basically when that's navigated, we're going to go back here. So when any of this, make sure that so when this button here is clicked, which we did see earlier, we're going back to the GUI, when it's navigating to here, and then you see the HAVC, when any of these buttons are clicked, it changes the volume, the average volume of all of these back down to 0, or 0.8 or 0.5 when it's there. And now we're moving down to the emergency brakes. If you don't know how to make brakes work, we're basically jumping back into properties of a vehicle seat again. We're basically going to go ahead, right here as you can see A, it says A right there. And then we're navigating down into mouse brakes. When this brake button 1 is clicked, which is primary mouse button, it will play this sound first, which you can see right here, script. It navigates itself into the bogey and then plays it. And then we're going to script and then set the max speed of, as you can see here, script, right here, train script, and then setting the parent, which is now referring to this vehicle seat, max speed. Now it's referring to the property, which you've seen here, you should see it. Max speed is 150. The max speed becomes 0, which forces the brakes on. And then it waits 5 minutes, and then the max speed will return back to normal 150. Alright, so then the next one would be aim.main doors. Here is the part where you're going to start coding a lot. It's actually pretty simple. Basically back down to the properties of a certain I'm sorry if it's kind of boring, but this is the only way you can make your train work. So then what you're gonna, basically what this does is navigate to it. So once again, this is just playing sounds and waiting 0.1 seconds as a slight delay to sync with the sounds. And then as you can see here, it's navigating to the doors itself. As you can see, there's doors right here, right there, and it's called metal door. So when it does that, it's basically telling it navigate to the metal door, which you see here. It sets the transparency property down to 1, which means completely invisible. The decal that I did mention earlier, it's completely invisible, and the can collide to be false. So so technically this object is invisible. It was not deleted. So yeah, and basically you do this for other doors that you see on the other side. Same thing for here. Same thing for here. And basically the gap signs, I had to code these ones separately because every little intricate detail that you put on the doors creates extra work. So basically it's the same thing for those. Make sure you set can collide to those to false, bottom transparency, and so forth and so forth. And basically when you click close doors again, it basically sets all these to 0. Sets transparency to 0 and can collide to true, and basically reverts everything back to normal. So if we scroll down, you can see that here, true, 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 and 0, 0, 0, and then transparency returns back to normal. Make sure you get transparency correct when you're working with Windows, because otherwise you're going to just get a solid block there again. And then, and these are more door closing sounds. This is the GUI. Once again, I'm going to explain. It's basically the script and parent, and then train, which you can see here in the, right here if we were to navigate to it. Right here, there's the text label. We're once again modifying the properties panel to say that. If you want a GUI to put in custom destinations, what I think you should do is go ahead and have a text box there you can type into, and then have a button that refers to that text box. And then basically whatever value string that's there, have it be inputted and use that as a variable here. Just make sure you set the text box as a variable, that way it can change this real time, I guess. So that finishes for the train scripts. It's not hard, not too hard. There is no coding required to make the train actually move. Everything's done by Roblox already. And let's go ahead and move to the engine sounds. So you can see here the script. It's pretty simple. Basically, if the velocity, which is basically the speed, is over 5, and then it will play the different sound, the engine sound. But however else, if it's not, it's going to stop the engine sound and play the idle sound instead. This 0.5 is what you hear as the constant gap in the noises. If you do remove this wait command, Roblox Studio will freeze up. Doesn't matter what computer you're on. I've tried it on previous computers without that, but Roblox Studio always seems to freeze up. But if you were to publish this as without it, it would sound perfectly fine. Other than that, that's that. Let's see, what other code do we have to go over? I think that's it. I believe that's it. Let me take a look at what. Oh, the train welds. So the thing that you see commonly is when you're spawning the train and then it somehow moves and then all of it stays together. I did have to use the weld code completely from Arsentic. I will try to explain what the weld code does. Let's see, train, and then there's this welding is incorrect. It should be just one in here. And there's one in here. They should not be connected. If you're using bogeys, make sure you use the make sure you put a weld surface right here, a welding surface. That way it sticks on, and then put the welding scripts separately. That way they can turn here. Basically, what you need to do to create it's really simple. Let me do it really quick. Basically, you take 2 blocks like this, and you just get surface, and then put hinge. You put one here like that, and then put one right there like that. Then you put a weld right here. Where's the weld? Wait, or maybe add weld right there. Basically put that there and put that there. So to know if something's stuck there, you basically drag and drop it there. So like here, and then you would see that blue outline there, which means it has successfully welded. Basically, it's the same thing when you're putting it on a subway car. Make sure you get this side to be perfectly blue. Take a look at that. That's usually where it's placed. And if we place one right there, if we can try somehow to sneak it in without making it do too much work, basically move this back one more. As you can see the blue there. It is working. If we were to extend this, nope. Gotta go 0.1 to fix that. Or you should see there it is, yeah. So the weld has been created. I don't know if my headphone batteries just died, so if you're missing sound, that's not my fault. There we go. Or you can just hear it through the mic. It's also valid. If you take a look, it should still work. I'm pretty sure it should. Okay, it still works. Okay, good. However, this time it won't flip over on its own if I were to move this. It should, yeah, as you can see, yeah. But except for the fact that, oh, okay, I see the problem. I did not weld. Didn't weld good enough. Okay, that's blue. Let me try this one more time, and if it doesn't, then you just try it on your own time or something like that. It's not perfectly welded, but it's almost good enough, nearly. Try it one more time. I don't know. Oh, it just lost it. But yeah, I don't know why it's not working for some reason. But it's supposed to. Yeah. Other than that's how you make the weld. Now I lost track of myself. What I was doing. Oh, the weld. The weld code is right here somewhere. Where did I see it? I can just search for it. Weld. If we double click into this, it's pretty simple. Local, all of this, local, yeah. I have no idea what any of this codes mean, but basically it's C-frame in a nutshell. Basically copy this and insert it into any of your models, and and if you don't want it anchored, and then that's it. Except that dash. So yeah, basically that's it, how you build your own train. This is how I build mine. I did get some assistance from one of the train builders that's on Subway's testing. OneAviatorJoe created these bogies. As for the welding, I don't know why it's not working. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. I don't know. This is why I don't do bogies, because whenever someone else does it, it never screws with me. But then whenever I do it, then it screws with me. So yep, that's pretty much the PA-1 model. This PA-1 model was for sale for free in August, sometime around there, for around an hour. This model will not become for sale again. The next generation will be a PA-5, and once that one comes out, I will also do a showcase video on how I built that one. As you can see here, I'm already working on my own separate T3 model. Make sure you guys watch out for those in subway testing if it gets showcased, or I make my own map of some sort with these. But yep, that's it, and hopefully you learned something from this and you can create your own trains in the future, and I'll see you guys in the next video.